As for today's Huawei Pura 80 series, besides its impressive telephoto lens, the main camera's video capabilities are also outstanding. What's more, the Huawei Pura 80 Pro Plus is the only non-ultra flagship to feature a 1-inch large sensor for its main camera. It also boasts the industry's highest dynamic range and the largest light intake, making its video capabilities top-notch. Mr. Yu even called it out directly at the launch event.
You can absolutely trust those 4 words.
So how does it actually perform? Let's compare it directly with the current benchmark in mobile imaging and see the results. Even before the comparison starts, since our model is wearing a red top, the contrast between the red clothing and her skin tone in the video is already super obvious. On the Huawei side, the skin looks rosy and fair, and the arm color is pretty natural too. But on the iPhone side, it comes out looking kind of dull and yellowish overall. This becomes even more obvious when there's a big red wall in the background. The competitor's face looks noticeably yellow, while on the Huawei side, it's still rosy and fair, looking more natural and attractive. I have to say, the color reproduction for reds is really impressive. Now, here's where the Huawei Pura 80 Pro Plus really shines. Its 1-inch ultra-high dynamic range main camera can achieve a 16-stop dynamic range adjustment, which is much higher than the industry standard of 13 to 14 stops. Take this extreme shot facing the sunset, for example. The dynamic range requirements are really high. Not only is the person's face clear and bright, but the details in the sky behind them are also preserved. In comparison, other brands just don't have enough dynamic range. The sky gets overexposed, turning into a big patch of white, losing even more detail, and the overall look just isn't as good. Plus, the colors aren't very accurate either. When it comes to shooting video in these high-contrast lighting conditions, the Huawei Pura 80 Pro Plus really does perform impressively. Or, when the sun is setting and the light is pretty weak, just look at the shadow details on the back of both shots, especially on the tall buildings. The Huawei Pura 80 Pro Plus, with its 1-inch large sensor and industry-leading light intake, really shows its advantage here. At night, all kinds of brightly lit billboards turn on. While faces are still pretty dark, this is a really tough scene to capture. But if you get it right, the results look amazing. You can see that the competitors' billboards are overexposed, with no detail at all, basically just blown out. On the Huawei side, the billboards are reproduced much better, the colors are accurate, the details are still there, and with a clear, vibrant subject in the foreground plus a natural background blur that competitors don't have, it's just excellent. Or take this extreme scenario. At night, there's no light on the person's face, but there's a brightly lit billboard behind them, creating a huge contrast between light and dark. If you want to keep the face bright, the billboard easily gets overexposed. That's exactly what happens with the competitor's phone, which is pretty standard performance. But this time, Huawei did a great job controlling the highlights, so there's no overexposed areas in the view, and the whole image just looks much better. And Huawei's improvement in night scene video isn't just limited to videos with people in them. Even in regular night scenes, the highlights don't get overexposed. In comparison, the iPhone tends to overexpose those areas a bit. Or sometimes, the foreground exposure is about the same, but the iPhone still blows out the highlights in the background. So no matter how the manufacturers advertise, just look at the actual results. All I can say is, Mr. Yu is right.
You absolutely have to trust those 4 words.
This time, with the Huawei Pura 80 Pro Plus and its 1-inch ultra-high dynamic range main camera, the improvement in video shooting capabilities is really obvious. It captures more details in low light, and it can control the highlights, preserving the sense of depth. If you love shooting videos, you definitely need to try it out. So do you think the Huawei Pura 80 Pro Plus is powerful enough?